If a man can stay silent for days without reaching out to you, listen very carefully. That is not because he is busy, stressed, or dealing with personal issues. It is a message, and deep inside you already know what it means. You keep checking your phone, replaying your last conversation, wondering if you said too much or too little, while he goes on with his life as if your silence changes nothing. The more you chase him, the more you teach him that you will accept less than you deserve. But today, I will show you exactly what to do when he disappears, so he feels your absence louder than any words. If you're tired of men going silent on you, hit like so this reaches more women who need it. Let me tell you something that may sting, but it can save you years of heartbreak. When a man stays silent for days, it is not an accident, confusion, or some mysterious male behavior you need to decode. It is a choice. The pain feels so deep because your spirit already knows the truth, while your heart keeps trying to bargain with it. You hope for change, keep waiting, and keep checking your phone as though it controls your heartbeat, even when his silence is already giving you the answer. The hardest truth to accept is that a man's silence is often his answer. Accepting that means letting go of waiting, hoping, and building an entire relationship inside your imagination while he lives his real life without you. A grown man does what he truly wants to do. If he wants to call, he calls. If he wants to text, he texts. If he wants to see you, he makes plans. And if he truly wants to keep you close, he makes sure you feel that closeness every single time. A man who does not want to keep you close will leave you feeling uncertain, because uncertainty lets him keep you around without fully committing. You may tell yourself he is busy, stressed, not a big texter, or hurt by past relationships. But a man can face all of those challenges and still stay consistent with the woman he truly values. The real issue is not that he is too busy. It is that you are not his priority. I am not saying this to hurt you, but to wake you up from confusing excuses with genuine care. Too many women fall in love with a man's potential instead of his reality. You become attached to the version of him who shows up for 2 days, then disappears for 5. He gives just enough attention to keep you interested, but never enough to make you feel safe or secure. That is dangerous because your mind slowly accepts the bare minimum as normal. You begin calling crumbs real effort, silence needed space, inconsistency something complicated, and clear disrespect a simple miscommunication. Before you realize it, you are carrying all the emotional weight. You do all the reaching out, forgiving, and understanding while he does whatever he wants. That is not love. It is you auditioning for a role he has not even decided to offer you. Comment silence if a man has ever disappeared on you for days. If he can stay silent that long, he is not truly afraid of losing you, while you are afraid of losing him. You become afraid to ask for what you need because you fear he will disappear completely. So you make yourself smaller, hide your pain, and accept poor treatment. Every late reply you excuse, every ignored message you chase, and every time you pretend his inconsistency is fine teaches him your needs can be pushed aside. Staying available while he remains unavailable shows he can have access to you without responsibility. Now ask yourself one honest question. Why are you giving so much emotional energy to someone who has shown your presence is optional? This is not about blame, but about uncovering the deeper wound you may be trying to heal through him, whether it is abandonment, rejection, low self-worth, or loneliness. Trying to prove you are worth staying for, or believing inconsistent love is enough will only keep you trapped, because inconsistent love is not real love. It is anxiety disguised as affection and constant effort to earn what a healthy relationship gives freely. A real relationship does not leave you guessing about his feelings or punish you with silence. It does not make basic communication feel like too much to ask. Stop believing your needs are the problem when you may simply be asking the wrong person. With the right man, you never have to beg for attention, fight for respect, or make yourself smaller just to keep him comfortable. He makes you feel safe, valued, and easy to love. The biggest trap is spending all your energy trying to get him back instead of asking why his consistency disappeared. You deserve someone who does not need to be convinced to treat you well. Real power is not in your beauty or how understanding you are, but in your willingness to walk away from anything that does not honor you. The moment you stop fearing his absence, it loses its control over your emotions. Type yes if you're ready to stop chasing and start getting him to reach out first. Many women stay attached to the hope he represents, rather than the reality of who he is. His silence does not define your worth. It reveals his level of investment and emotional maturity. If he leaves you in uncertainty for days, stop calling him the right one. Clear women do not chase inconsistent men or beg for affection. They accept that his silence is his choice. Stop making excuses and begin responding with wisdom instead of emotion. When you react with emotion, you slowly lose your power. A man does not pull away because he forgot you. He pulls away because he is seeing how much access he can have without giving you what you truly deserve. He is testing your tolerance, your availability, and whether your standards are real or disappear with your feelings. This may sound harsh, but it prepares you for better outcomes. Men often respond to respect, value, and boundaries differently than women respond through emotion. Remember this truth: a man always finds time for what he genuinely values. Not what he says he values when you are upset, but what he consistently shows through his actions. A serious man checks in, keeps you from questioning where you stand, and understands that consistency is a basic part of a healthy relationship, not a special favor. Many men want the benefits of a relationship without accepting the responsibility that comes with it. Let me explain this more clearly. He may want the comfort of knowing you are always there, the ego boost of being wanted, emotional support in difficult moments, affection when he feels lonely, attention when he is bored, and validation when he needs it. But he avoids the responsibility of being a consistent partner. Comment crumbs if you've been accepting bare minimum from a man. If you allow it, he will keep taking your time, energy, patience, forgiveness, kindness, and support until you finally decide enough is enough. Here is the second truth. Chasing a man does not increase his love for you. It often reduces the respect he has for your boundaries. Many women believe that giving more care will make him care more in return, but that is not how it works. When you invest deeply while he shows little effort, you are not proving love. You are showing him that you will stay even without receiving what you deserve, making it easier for him to stop trying. The more predictable you become, the more optional you seem in his eyes. That is why the more messages you send, the longer he delays replying. The more you explain, the more he withdraws. The more you try to fix everything, the more he avoids it, because he believes you will still be there whenever he decides to return. That belief is one of the most dangerous traps in dating, because it turns you into a placeholder instead of a true priority. Now let us talk about what his silence really represents. Silence can become a form of control in a relationship. Whether intentional or not, some men know that when they go quiet, you begin overthinking, leaning in, and chasing after them. Once you start chasing, the balance shifts, and the connection becomes driven more by your anxiety than by equal effort. Some men enjoy feeling needed, but a man who truly loves, values, and respects you does not leave you in confusion or make you question your worth for days. If he seems comfortable causing that pain, pay close attention to his actions. Here is another truth to remember. A man is more likely to step up when he is with a woman who has clear standards and genuine self-respect. Not someone who constantly threatens, nags, or begs for attention, but someone who stays calm, clear, and is willing to walk away when necessary. If he already has unlimited access to your time, emotions, loyalty, attention, kindness, and forgiveness while giving little in return, he has no real reason to change because he is already getting everything without effort. A man is not mainly motivated by what is given freely. He is motivated by what he must earn through his actions. That is why he often values a woman with strong boundaries, respects one who does not over-explain herself, and reaches out to the woman who refuses to chase him. In his eyes, she becomes someone he could lose if he is not careful. And that changes the way he sees her. Some of you may wonder if he is simply overwhelmed, struggling with depression, or dealing with family problems. Life does bring difficult seasons, but an emotionally mature man communicates that. He can simply say, I am going through a tough time and need a little space, but I am not ignoring you. Share this with a friend who keeps waiting on a guy's text. The issue is not his need for space. It is the lack of respect shown by disappearing without any explanation. When you accept that behavior, you make it easier to accept even worse treatment later. Many women believe their love can change a man, but love alone does not transform someone who refuses to grow. Patience cannot heal a man who avoids accountability. Loyalty cannot inspire someone addicted to easy attention. And kindness cannot fix selfishness. Real change comes through consequences, strong standards, clear boundaries, genuine respect, and the possibility of losing you. When a man stays silent for days, he is showing you where you stand in his priorities and how much your feelings matter to him. Do not waste your energy trying to negotiate with his character. You cannot argue someone into consistency, love them into maturity, or text them into valuing you. As painful as it is, if he truly wanted to show up for you, he would have already. So stop taking his silence as a personal attack and start seeing it as valuable information about who he is. You stop reacting impulsively and start observing his patterns. You stop chasing him and start choosing yourself. The moment you stop being available for his inconsistency, you discover what he truly wants from the connection. The approach that changes everything does not require begging, arguing, or sacrificing your self-respect. It asks you to stop reaching out, stop checking on him, stop chasing his attention, and stop treating his silence like an emergency that only you have to fix. When a man stays silent for days, remove your attention from him and return fully to your own life. Do it to restore balance, not to play games or punish him. Right now, he holds the power while you carry the anxiety. He enjoys freedom while you live with fear. And he stays in control while you are left confused. Real love does not look like that. Think of his attention as a faucet he controls, while your attention is the water that keeps flowing. If you keep pouring into his cup while he stops pouring into yours, you stay thirsty while he remains comfortable. The first step is to become silent too, but from strength, not bitterness. You are not staying silent to teach him a lesson or make him jealous. You are doing it because your time, your peace, and your heart are too valuable to give to someone who treats them as disposable. Many women stay silent for a few hours, then reach out, send a casual message, or post online hoping he notices. That is not real power, because your heart is still chasing him. Real change begins when you truly stop seeking his attention and return to yourself. If his silence hurts, comment "hurt" below. You are no longer begging for a response or carrying the entire relationship on your own. The next step is to stop over-explaining your needs. Many women want to explain every feeling, hoping he will finally understand how his silence affects them. But a man who truly cares does not need long explanations to treat you well. A man who respects you does not need reminders to stay consistent, and a man who values you does not need paragraphs to remember you. The more you try to convince him, the more you place yourself in the position of asking for basic effort instead of expecting it. The final step is creating distance without creating drama. Do not send angry messages, emotional voice notes, or accusations like, "I guess you do not care," or "you always do this." Emotional outbursts give him excuses to shift the focus onto your reaction instead of his inconsistency. Rather than pleading or chasing, choose healthy detachment. Raise your standards and let your actions speak for themselves. You become calm instead of reactive, unavailable for poor treatment, and focused on your own well-being. That is when the dynamic begins to change. Men often respond more to real consequences than to tears. They notice when access to you changes, when their comfort disappears, and when the balance shifts. Right now, he may feel comfortable because he expects you to reply quickly, forgive easily, and always be there. So you remove that comfort, not with threats, but with calm absence and self-respect. When you stop reaching out, he loses the validation, reassurance, and sense of control he once had. Without that certainty, curiosity can begin to grow, leading him to think about you and notice your absence. But remember the key point. He does not miss you because you begged or chased him. He misses you because you stepped back with strength, became less predictable, and allowed your silence to speak for itself. The dynamic changes because your actions change, not because your words become louder. Most importantly, this approach is not just about getting him back. It is about getting yourself back. Too many women become so focused on whether he will reach out that they lose touch with their own peace. Return to your goals, your routines, your friendships, your self-care, your hobbies, and your confidence. Return to living a life that does not depend on his attention. And return to the high standards that remind you of your own worth. Because the more your world revolves around him, the less respect he tends to show you. Not because he dislikes you, but because a man is often drawn to a woman who has her own full life, feels complete within herself, and is not waiting for him to fill an emptiness. He does not want to be your entire world. He wants to be a valued part of it. Your real power is not just staying silent. It is redirecting your energy back into your own growth, happiness, and purpose. When he eventually reaches out, and if he never does, that is still a clear answer. You have a choice. Many women reply immediately with relief, anger, sarcasm, or obvious emotion, undoing the progress they made. Instead, Respond calmly and warmly without over-investing. Do not act as though he rescued you from your pain. Reply like a woman with a full life, clear standards, and genuine self-respect, because that is exactly who you are becoming. When you respond from that place, the dynamic changes. He realizes you are not someone he can put aside and return to whenever it suits him. He sees you are not a convenience or an option, but a woman who deserves real love or nothing at all. Type power if you're choosing your peace over chasing him. Real change comes through your standards, your calm strength, your self-respect, and your willingness to walk away without creating drama. That is the moment you stop being the woman who waits around. You become the woman he knows he must earn. What happens next often determines whether you step into your power or fall back into old patterns. I want you to build self-respect so strong that his choices no longer define your peace. When you stop chasing, the shift is often psychology, not magic. Without your constant effort, he finally notices the space you once filled. The moment you stop reaching out, he may check his phone more, wonder why you went quiet, or question if you have moved on. A man who could ignore your pain is often affected more by your calm absence than your emotions. But remember, contact is not commitment. One message does not mean he has changed, values you fully, or is ready for a real relationship. Sometimes he simply misses your attention or wants easy access again. Never confuse contact with genuine commitment, because commitment is proven through consistent actions over time. When he reaches out, stay calm and watch his behavior instead of celebrating too soon. Relief can make you forget past disrespect and lower the standards that protect your heart. Comment standards if you're done accepting inconsistency. Stay warm, but not fully open. Polite, but not overly eager. And calm without overlooking disrespect. A man should not be able to disappear and return to full access without any change. That boundary is what shifts the dynamic. If he is a good man who made a mistake, he will adjust his behavior. If he is selfish and only wants the benefits of the connection, he will become irritated instead. Either way, you gain something valuable because his response reveals his true character more clearly than his words ever could. The right man will not be offended by healthy standards. He will accept responsibility, communicate better, and work to meet them. A man who respects you focuses on fixing his part instead of blaming you. But a man who only wants easy access will call you difficult the moment you stop being convenient. Pay close attention to how he responds, because his reaction tells you everything you need to know. If you follow this advice and he still does not reach out, he has given you a clear answer. You are no longer wasting your love on someone who does not value it, waiting in confusion, or settling for scraps of attention. You stop shrinking yourself to fit a man who cannot meet you where you are. If your silence pushes him away, it only reveals his true feelings. A man who only stays when you chase him or communicates only when it suits him was never acting like a true partner. You deserve consistent love and respect without having to convince anyone to give it. Real change begins the moment you stop abandoning yourself. Every time you chase, accept long silence, lower your standards, or pretend you are fine with less, you leave a part of yourself behind. You cannot build a healthy relationship on anxiety, doubt, or constant self-sacrifice. From that point, one of two things happens. He either rises to meet your standards or removes himself from your life, and both outcomes serve you. The moment you stop begging for consistency, you stop making room for inconsistency. The moment you stop accepting crumbs, you create space for genuine respect and a healthier connection. When you are confident, silence no longer controls your emotions. It becomes information instead of fear. The next time he stays silent, you do not panic, beg, or chase. You step back with strength, return your focus to your own life, and invest in your own happiness. Like if you're going to apply the no chase power move next time he disappears, make yourself one promise today. Never wait by your phone as though your worth depends on his attention. Never lower your standards to keep someone who is already halfway gone. You deserve to be loved openly, chosen intentionally, and valued without constant confusion. Let him experience the silence you once feared while you focus on your own healing. When you stop chasing, you stop bleeding emotionally. And that is where real healing begins. As you heal, you become a woman who cannot be treated as an option. Not because you begged or played games, but because your actions say you know your worth. That is when everything begins to change for the better. Like, comment which part hit you hardest, and subscribe for more ways to get him to reach out while protecting your worth.